Hi everybody, I'm Loryan Strand and welcome to another episode of 365 Unplugged. I'm joined with the ever beautiful.
It's Alistair coming to you live from a very warm, very sunny Johannesburg. And Loryan, what time is it in Kiwi land or whatever they call it down under there where you
Yeah, that's Daryl's country.
are?
The East Islands, we call it. It's 7:15 here in the morning. I've been on a 6 a.m. call already, so nice early start. And I'm expecting my children to wake up and walk in at any point and say, "Where's mummy?" Because she's off at the airport. Yeah, fun times. Before we start, what does your hat say, Dala? What is that about?
It says, oh no, no, do it this way. There we go. There's some more stuff.
What you must. Okay.
Yeah. Dala, do what you must.
Fair enough.
It's slang from Cape Town by a product called Funny Carp from the Cape. And yeah, it says Dala what you must. It's very outy.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're getting some product placement fees at the end of this session. All right, let's get into our topic. So the one I want to talk about is 5,000 members in Teams, or the new maximum. Is it too much?
Loryan, can I just ask you, can we stop talking about Teams? Everything is Teams. Never. Okay, never. The public service announcement.
To quote Magatu from Zoolander, Teams is so hot right now.
Teams is so hot. I want to talk about the lesser known Sway.
I'd like to talk about Sway, but let's see how we go.
All right.
All right.
So what are we doing? There's no coin today. No coin.
No, I forgot to get a coin.
Okay. All right. I don't even remember how this works. Okay. Let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. What have you gone? I can't see your fingers. Oh, scissors again. All right, let's go again.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. What have you got?
I got
paper. You know, the lag between it almost seems like it's rigged. All right,
Nobody would know if it is or isn't.
Let's talk about 5,000 members in Teams. So this was done in the last few weeks. So in February, start of February. Previously, the maximum was 2,500, and now it's 5,000 is the maximum you can have in a single team. This was also extended to organization-wide teams. So it now begs the question: do we even need Yammer anymore?
Well,
obviously, so yes, but
what happens? What happens when you have 5,001 people?
I think they just don't. Well, it depends. If it's an organization-wide team, they just don't get added. But if it's
is it alphabetized, or I haven't tried it, so I wouldn't know. Is it like, we've created an org-wide team for 5,000 users, and we've got 5,003 users, and everyone whose surnames start with Z or Z for the Americans watching, they just don't get notified about it?
Well, I think it'll be based on probably first name, because that's how it's alphabetized in the portal. So yeah, they basically just won't be added to the team, or anybody gets added afterwards won't get added to the team. But we're not so much talking about organization-wide teams, it's just teams in general. I can't fathom, I've never worked for an organization of 5,000 people. So I think the biggest organization I ever worked for was 1,500 people. I couldn't fathom a team that big of 5,000 people, the amount of noise, whether it was organization-wide team or just a team that big.
Well, it doesn't even matter teams, or it doesn't matter what product. 5,000 people in a group.
Well, the thing is, though, I think what it comes down to is in Yammer, yes, everybody is a member of the network, and you can choose whether you're a member of groups or not. So that way you can kind of see things or not see things. But in Teams, if you're a member of a team that's 5,000 people, you kind of have to, in order to moderate it somehow, you kind of have to cripple some of the features. Like you definitely have to remove the ability to @mention a team, because otherwise that just becomes like the equivalent of an all-staff email, effectively.
Well, what about the underlying group sitting in your Outlook?
Yeah, what about it? It's there.
What does it look like?
Well, I think it just It'd just be like a normal group. Like, well, the thing is, I guess if it's a team, by default, when you create a team, it doesn't actually show up in Outlook anymore. It's only if you created some other method and it does show up in Outlook and then you teamify it later. But that's my thing is it too much noise? Because I'm a member of a whole bunch of different teams and a bunch of different tenants, and already I struggle with that amount of noise. I can't imagine what it looks like.
Yeah, I think I'm in a group, I'm in a tenant where there's probably about 240 people that are active.
Right.
And I wake up in the morning and that team's got 34 notifications. And that's a daily thing, right? And it's fairly active. Can you imagine 5,000 people in a team?
And that's the thing, is this is where you'd have to disable certain functionalities. So, for example, the general channel, you can restrict that so that only owners can post to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we kind of look at the Yammer v Teams thing, that's like crippling the all company group. So you kind of can't really do that because that goes against the whole point of being able to be discoverable. What if you disable the general channel from anybody posting to it? I kind of get why you do it, but what it then means is for me to be able to find things, I have to, go into those channels or do a search across those channels, which is kind of good because it's containerizing it. But I just can't, if you're a member of a team with 5,000 people, you're probably a member of other teams that have also got hundreds or possibly thousands of people. You're going to have to become very diligent about favoriting channels and those kind of things. And as I said, other things will have to be disabled, like the ability to mention an entire team.
Look, there's a host of features in the new MS 301 exam that is replacing some of the other 346 and 347 exams that are retiring at the end of April this year. It's a teamwork. It's about teamwork, right? And Teams and SharePoint, OneDrive Plan, and all of those things. It looked like hashtag. I don't know what that is.
Hashtag teamwork.
Hashtag teamwork. But the question really beckons. So, like you said, what happens to Yammer now?
Well, that's the thing is, and I guess there's all the thing of, it's Yammer and Teams together. But I think personally, for organizations that do have 5,000 people or close to, I think they still need Yammer, because Yammer, there still offers a considerable amount of features that Teams can't do.
Well, look, also
surface in different ways.
For me, if I look at Yammer, and let's take an insurance company that's got 11,000 staff, right? 3,000 call center agents and everything else. And they sell insurance, long-term, short-term, doesn't matter, right? And they've got locations across the country. And normally what happens is you have a CEO roadshow, and he or she goes to these offices and they have seating and this thing, and the guy wants to, or the female wants to get her message across. And for me, I look at companies that I've worked for. We've got 30,000 staff across the globe. And we've used Yammer extensively to get messaging at a group level. Right? So what are you saying now? Because we've got 5,000, there is no team that teamwork is teams. Teams.
Well, that's a good point. That's the thing, is that 5,000 people, are you even a team? No, you're a department. No, you're probably a multinational department.
Yeah. So like org-wide team. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I look at my company. We've got 74 developers, so we're just under or over 80 people, and we've got a team for group comms. But I would not want to belong to a team that's got 5,000 people in it.
Look, there's organizations I'm working with. So I'm working with one at the moment who doesn't use Yammer, doesn't actually even use Exchange Online at this point, and they're only about 1,000 people. So for them, I'm saying, okay, you're going straight to Teams, and at some point they will get organization-wide Teams. So I'm not going to go into the details about how I'm rolling it out. No, it's a government department, so change is scary and often unwelcome. But then I've got other organizations that I'm working with, actually another government organization that already does use Skype for Business, who I've said, that's great. And they're only about 900 people. I've said, you're going to Yammer. And I think that's the thing, is they serve different purposes. As you kind of said, Teams is about teamwork, whereas Yammer is about community. So, in this other government department, this is a whole bunch of different areas that need to work with each other. So therefore, they need to be able to discover things. They need to have communities of interest. Yes, you can kind of make this work within teams, but that's the thing. Is it all comes down to, as we've said, it depends. And this particular, we're not here to talk about Yammer v Teams. I think we're talking about 5,000 people. How's that? How do you manage that?
Maybe Boeing would manage something like that, right?
Right.
I mean, they've got plants all across, or a petrochemical organization or an energy organization that's got 130,000 staff. And they've got people from across the globe talking about the viscosity in lubrication for mine shafts in the Congo.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well, see, this is, I think what you raised an interesting point is what I see a 5,000 member team or up to 5,000 member team being potentially a replacement of is a single group in Yammer. Because what this allows you to do is to then effectively have kind of a subgroup type system. So usually in Yammer, you have communities of interest. Obviously, the benefit of doing things in teams is that we've got our files are a click away. We've got all these different apps we can bring into it. We can have meetings in line. So yeah, let's use that petrochemical example of a multinational oil conglomerate. So instead of them having a single group for a community of interest in Yammer, they could actually have a team where they could then have subgroups or regional groups out of that community of interest.
Private channels. They could have private channels.
Whether those need to exist or not. Look, and this is the thing is, I think for a team of that size, we're going to need extra functionality inside of teams and the ability to be able to moderate certain channels. Because right now we can moderate
5,000.
Well, the thing is, you can moderate general as a channel.
It's like getting Facebook moderators in to moderate, because apparently they want to quit because they don't have a life.
But that's what I think. Look, I mean, the reality is this is going to grow because there's going to be customers that demand.
No, I challenge anyone that watches our show to give us a use case for 4,950 members in a team.
Well, I also challenge them to give us a use case for 9,990 members in a team, because that's most likely where it's going next.
I will eat my hat if they can give me one.
I look forward to this because that's probably going to happen.
I'll challenge anyone to bring me a use case, a proper use case for 4,950, and I will eat my hat.
Well, I think, look, as I said, it's only been through actually the course of this conversation that where I see a 5,000 member team is a specific community of interest that may have existed previously in Yammer that is now in Teams.
Well, maybe this is the path. Maybe at Ignite this year, they're going to go, Yammer is dead, long live Teams, like they did with Skype.
No. And we've both been down this path before.
That's magic.
But that's the thing is, I think what it'll probably be is maybe what we'll see at Ignite is, hey, this functionality that was in Yammer is now in Teams, or maybe the two are embedded further together.
Well, they're integrating everything into Teams. Staff Hub is now shifts inside of Teams.
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll see more. And that's what I think needs to happen is that Yammer, I think what we're probably getting to is that Yammer and Teams interaction. Yes, we've got a Yammer tab coming to Teams, but I think what we need to have is that tighter integration. So it's effectively kind of like Microsoft messaging or Microsoft communities or Microsoft chat. So it doesn't matter whether it's in Teams or Yammer, I can actually have those conversations back and forth. And we've seen people do kind of some creative ways of working with this.
Are you done? Are you done talking about Yammer yet? Can we move on? We're talking about Teams, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you have new stickers.
Yes.
That's the best thing Yammer's done in 5 years.
Oh, easy, Tiger. Easy. So what do we, I guess we're kind of coming to a point, we're waffling here. 5,000 people in a team. Is it?
No.
And that's the thing is, I would like to say, and people ask for best practices in teams. No one's done this stuff before. This hasn't existed before. No. So you can't look at best practice. You can't look at how has an organization-wide team worked. This functionality is too new for anybody to have been doing it at this scale.
Oh,
so
I think they
have done it.
I think Microsoft did it for their Visual Studio guys because they've got teams of 20,000, right? Writing code for Office 365. Possibly.
Okay.
No, it's 60 or 70,000 VSTS users.
Right. Okay.
Which is Azure DevOps.
I see
You
shadow.
see people. All right. So on that note, would you like to end? Are we yaying or naying 5,000 users?
Well, it's depending.
Oh, God, typical consultant thing. I say nay to 5,000 users. Give me a use case, I'll buy it.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing is, I see the potential for it, but I think, yeah, let's ask our community. Give us a use case for us. Show us where it's worked for 2,500 people, let alone 5,000 people.
I'll eat half a hat for 2,500. Show us the team. Show us your team. Come on. Let's do that. All right. Hashtag show us your team. Are you closing out, Mr. Strand?
Yes, I am. Let's stop this recording thingy.
Yeah.
Hope that was useful to everybody who watched or listened.
If you like us, please join us. And
Alistair's frozen. Join us, and I'll stop the recording there. Thanks, everyone, for watching.